Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Global Book Network, the show where we sit down with authors and ask them about their craft and the stories that enlighten us all. My name is Global Boys, and I, for one, am excited to talk to my special guest today because I'm a sports guy. I understand what it means to come from undeserved means, and this one blends it all. Please welcome the author of the book Forfeit, JerralUWynn, to the show. Jerral, what's going on, man?
Hey man, thank you for having me, man. I'm honored to be here. Thank you for having me.
Oh man, the pleasure is all mine because I don't know. I haven't told you this before we went live, but I took some time to research. I saw the promo video. Like, this is actually a very exciting moment for you getting this book from over the finish line. What was that process like, brother?
Oh man, this was a interesting process. I mean, but the journey, believe it or not, started. I was actually incarcerated. I was doing time in the Connecticut Correctional Facility. I was actually sentenced to 2.5 years. Um, and just being in a bad relationship, and just dealing with just the trials and tribulations in that relationship. It just messed me all up. It brought me down to ground zero and everything like that. So I end up going to jail, getting sentenced to 2.5 years, and then I'm in the cell 21 hours a day. So,
Oh
you know,
wow.
so when I'm in the cell doing 21 hours a day, I don't want to look at the same 7 channels, that they give me. So I said, you know what, let me try to take my mind out of the cell and start writing. Me being from Brooklyn, New York, I used to rap a lot, and my thing was, my specialty was telling stories. When I rap, I'm a good storyteller.
Okay.
So I said, you know what, let me go ahead and start trying to see if I could challenge that into story writing, into books. And, I just started writing and started taking my mind out of that cell.
Yeah. Yo, respect. What, can I ask personally what part of Brooklyn you're from? Because I'm from out there too.
Okay, Crown Heights, Crown Heights.
Okay, Flatlands over here. I mean, a little more thorough than me, but it's all good. It's all good. So let's talk about the idea of forfeit, man. This is a story that is very street level, but it has implications beyond, behind the worlds of football, behind the worlds of just surviving. What was the moment like for you? I know there's some tendrils of actual reality you pulled to make this happen, but when did you realize that this is something you want to put down on paper?
Well, before I wrote Forfeit, I wrote like 3 other books before this. And, those books were just like gritty, hard, just straight up, trying to be the man, those books really didn't have a positive message or no type of message in it. So as I was digging into my fourth book, I said, you know what, let me try to write something that at least, you know, have a message or something like that. And I said Forfeit. The title just jumped in my head, Forfeit. So I'm like, okay, I got the title Forfeit. Now let me go ahead and start putting the storyline together. I'm a twin also, so that's where the twins came in at. Unfortunately, I've never had that same bond the way Steph had with his twin brother Stephen, due to the fact that my twin, him being in and out of jail and incarcerated throughout his whole life, them New York, prison systems. I mean, it was tough. So we never had a chance to, you know, build that bond, and so I never had that with my twin.
Yeah.
I still go on visits and see him, to this day, and we'll talk, we're chopping up and everything. But the bond, we never had that twin bond. So I wanted to capture that bond between Steph and Stephen, and you know, there go the mouth for each other no matter what, whether right or wrong. So
Yeah. I definitely want to talk about the twin dynamic, but I just want to take a step back because you did mention like you've written 7 books at this point, if not more.
yeah.
This is book number 4, and you said it was more of a positive message. That's why it's the first one. But was that like a tough decision for you? Was it like, do you think that the world's not ready for the first 3, or like, no, this story I just love so much, this will be my first book I'll publish to the world?
Well, I mean, the timing was everything also, being the fact that it is kind of like a football story too, sports drama, football. It was football season approaching, at that time. So I said, you know what, this would be the perfect time to try to publish this book first. I got a good dynamic football story behind it. America loves football. So let me put it out.
Yeah.
Let me try to go for it. And wow, the feedback, the responses I've been getting, the calls. I mean, it's just nonstop, and I'm very honored. I'm very.
Yeah, you hit a lot of things for me. I did football as a kid. I was a big kid. I was 5'9", 275 in high school. So I played nose. You
Okay,
know what I mean?
okay, okay,
Get
okay.
down on the ground, and much like you in your family relationship, my brother and I were about 6.5, 7 years apart. We're close now, but back then we were just like two different people. Share the same blood, the same parents, but it was always like a whole different thing. And
Right,
so
right, right.
when you were trying to craft the differences or even the similarities between Steph and Stefan, was that something that you just did like arbitrarily, like, oh, this feels like something more that Stephan would say, or was it a situation where you're like, oh man, I'm just going with the flow with these characters and how you evolve them?
And you know what? That's exactly how I write. Because when I write, I don't have I don't have the full concept, of the storyline. I'm just writing as was given to me, how it's flowing. Um, and sometimes, I could stop right there. I could probably take a nap or something, go to sleep or something, and the writing is still there. I'm still writing in my sleep. So now I gotta wake up and jot some things down just so I won't, forget anything. But yeah, that's how I write. I let the story come to me. And then when I get to a certain point of the book, like let's say when I'm halfway through the book, now I know how I want to end it. I know how I want to finish it now. I already got the first half of the book lined up. I already know how I want to end the second half.
Yeah. So just so I understand, like you write when the inspiration strikes. Do you, or you just take time out the day and say, this is my writing hour, or when the juices flow and just go for it?
Well, I try to write a chapter a day. You know,
Uh-huh.
if I could write a chapter a day, most of my books is like the most chapters I wrote is like 37 chapters, right? So if
Mm-hmm.
I could write a chapter a day, I'm writing the book in 37 days, um, and I'm locked in, when I'm in book mode. I mean, I put my phone on do not disturb. I tell my girl, look, don't call me, don't come here. I'm knocking everything out because I want to get through this, and the only way I'm gonna get through it if I just tunnel vision, lock in, and just block everything out, and I get through it.
Well, you know what? I've been doing a show, I guess, for 2 years now, and it's funny how everyone has different backgrounds or approaches, but all of us have this moment where it's like, nobody contact me, I'm working. The lab is open. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely,
That's pretty
absolutely.
cool. So let's talk about the other side of the tracks, though. I mean, crafting a hood, a fictional hood, is not easy. And so there's a lot of things that you could pull from, obviously. And for me, when I had situations that similar in my career, it was like, how much do I share with these readers who may not know the environment? Was that something you thought about? Or was it kind of like, look, man, I'm going to show you exactly what the city is, warts and all, this is the way it be. I'm putting everything out there, let people suss it out themselves.
Yeah, man. I mean, I want to be authentic to my readers as possible. Even though I'm crafting these stories up, fiction, but a lot of these scenarios is lived experiences. Growing up in Brooklyn, growing up in Crown Heights. In the '90s era, in the '80s era. Where it was cops rioting. I remember you had a Jewish guy ran over a black kid, and then that sparked a riot, with police, and back in the early '90s, late '80s. So it was growing up. It was tough. It was a challenging environment, and yes, I have both my parents, but my pops, I mean, he was a stone cold drunk, I mean, there wasn't no work ethic. I don't remember him ever having a job, like, so, you know, um, and then there's my mom's, she a church going lady, did the best she could with the three of us, babysit kids, took in, babysit a lot of the neighborhood kids. So, that's how, they knew of us. My mom, she babysit them and everything like that. But then once we started growing up and we started coming off of the porch, it wasn't really nothing my mother at this point, could do with us, So
Yeah.
yeah, man, it was tough. It was tough, but we pulled through it, man. We pulled through it.
Well, was sports your escape as well? Were you into sports too? Or was that
Yes,
something you just,
basketball was really my thing.
yeah.
Basketball was really. I wasn't really a football guy. Um, I didn't really get into football. It's sad to say, until I got locked up. I started watching football. Then I started loving the sport. Then I started, the physicality of it. Then I'm like, you know what? I don't got no football team, but I'm from New York. I'm a Giants man now. I'm a Giants fan. So I've been rolling with the Giants since then. But then the love for football just got more and more for it. Like I just loved it. Now I just can't wait.
Yeah.
To football season come now. It's like, so that's where my love of the sport of football came from. Never, went to school playing basketball. That was my thing. But yeah.
Yeah.
Football.
It's kind of a shame because both New York teams are down bad, but that's besides that's besides the point. But talk to me about the stresses now when you have high school athletes, man. Everything's on the plate and table. They're growing up as individuals, the family dynamic, the pressure to be good on the field and at school. Like, how'd you distill that dynamic in this book as well?
Well, watching movies that have that sports dynamic, that family bond, just taking, flashbacks again, reading books and stuff like that. And then I had, put my own scenario together, my own sports story together. So that's where the inspiration came from, that dynamic of the book.
Yeah, so one thing I actually appreciated seeing this because the brothers are so similar on the surface, but once you get down to the nuance of their personality and characters, you see how different they are. And for a lot of us, sports wasn't an escape. I told you when I was a kid, I got pushed to do football because I wasn't tall. I was kind of short. I was supposed to do football because it was your way out the hook. I couldn't rhyme. I dang sure couldn't dance. Right. Do this very well and maybe get a scholarship to get out there. And that was almost like your golden ticket out. You will see guys at like Cornell or Vanderbilt because they're playing ball. And I like the fact that I was actually put up there. And I won't give away too much. Obviously, check out the book if you can, but understanding how much pressure that will be on someone to overachieve when everyone's looking to make sure they're perfect enough to go up that ladder. So what's something that people don't realize about your craft as an author that you want to share, like the struggle it takes to put things together?
Oh man, just starting from scratch, man. Just trying to think of a title, let alone trying to craft a whole, storyline and synopsis. Start just coming up with the title and making sure that the title is the right title, because you want to make sure the title, reflects, the book and what is. So I mean, it's just putting the title together, man, and then I go from trying to create a synopsis, from the title, and then I start creating characters and, I start, putting everything together.
Yeah, man, it's a labor of love, I can tell. You know what I mean? Just make sure that's all down and ready to go. You had mentioned earlier in this interview that you got some good feedback from people who check out the book. What have they been saying?
Oh man, great story, great book. I mean, this one person, she had texted me on WhatsApp and she texted me a paragraph like this, just congratulate me about the book and everything like that. And then she said, it was this one part where forfeit is this, it's this one chapter where the meaning of forfeit, actually happens where, Steph, gets killed and, Stephen got to make that decision, whether if he forfeit the game or whether if he's going to go ahead and, revenge his brother's death. I mean, that right there, and I didn't even know I was going to write it that way. I mean, once, the brother got hurt, he went a different route and I was just, okay, I used to hustle out of town. I used to do this. Let me just start putting that together when, you got two twin brothers, same, loyalty, everything, but again, they end up taking different paths.
Wait, so hold on. This is interesting to me because I know you said that you write the story as you go and as you feel it. You're very instinctual, but then you also said that really wasn't the idea you thought was going to go. So talk to me. You were writing it, and then what? The idea came in your head, and you went like, "I'm going to go down this entire route." Was there another ending plan? Like, what happened?
Well, actually, I wasn't really. I wasn't really gonna write another book to this. This was gonna be it. Forfeit was just gonna be Forfeit, and then I was just gonna move on to the next project, you know. But then as I was, you know, letting other people read as I'm, because you know, I got two people that I let, you know, read my chapters as I'm writing. Give me the feedback, give me, you know, critique it. I mean, please, you know, it's motivation, it's so and the feedback I get from them was like, yo, you know, Dad, you know, and then they try to come up with a plot twist trying to predict what's gonna happen, you know, and I'm like, okay, that might be something I can, even though I wasn't gonna go that route, but maybe so sometimes I get ideas based off of my feedback, you know, and that's while I'm writing the story, while I'm, you know, this is not a complete manuscript already. This is the process of me writing it. You know, sometimes oh, if I should end it like this, you know, or should I do it like this? And based off of the feedback, it's the way I go.
Yeah, you know, it's funny because when I wrote my memoir, one of the craziest things I got, because I thought like, well, it's a nice little story, it makes sense, it's my life, okay. But when someone goes, oh man, this impacted what I thought, this is something that changed my perspective, this is something I really love and enjoy. It's like, man, we're actually creating memories and experiences, which is a cool byproduct of doing what we do. So, commend props for that. You know what I'm saying?
I appreciate that. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Does this world get a direct sequel then? I know you said it's 4 of 7, but does this go into prequel, sequel, same school, same?
Absolutely, absolutely. Forfeit 2 is definitely gonna, it's one to look out for, you know. And then I got Forfeit 3, you know. I want to try to, I gotta write 4. I ain't start 4 yet because the way 3 ended, 4 I have to, but I don't know if I'm gonna stop at 4 or because the storyline is generational. I could keep this thing going for the next 4 or 5 years. Like I could keep, you know, 6, 7 years. I could keep this storyline going. Probably longer than that, you know. But yeah, it is a part 2 and there's a part 3.
And how long, just by curious, how long does it take to write a book from start to finish in this world? I mean, does it come quicker? Does it take a little more time to?
Well, again, I dedicate at least 8 to 10 hours a day, you know.
Wow.
Writing
Yeah.
a chapter, you know, and that's a chapter. That's not even, you know, that's just me tweaking the whole thing. Maybe I don't like how this paragraph sounds. Let me take this out. So I give myself at least 8 to 10 hours, and that's just during the weekdays. Weekends, I give myself a break. I relax. Then I go back at it Monday. So like Monday to Friday, I give about 50 to, you know, almost 80 hours of writing.
Yeah. That is like Stephen King numbers, man. That's crazy. Sometimes I get kind of guilty. You know, you got an idea, it's hot in your head, and you know, work happens, life happens. I come back a couple weeks, and I always feel like I'm not on the same rhythm. You know what I mean? But to be able to do that many hours in a weekly thing, the discipline there, man, I commend that for real.
But that's only because I'm locked into the storyline. So it's like once I start writing, it's like I can't even watch TV because I'm thinking about the story. I'm thinking, I'm trying to get off of it because I didn't put 10 hours already in it, but I'm still, so it's like, I just got to finish this. I just got to finish it, you know, and every day I'm writing and I'm locked. Once I'm locked in, I sleep the storyline, I breathe it. If I'm in Club Live in Miami, that's where I'm at right now. You know, so I'm wherever the story takes me, man.
Yeah. Like I said earlier, like my brother and I are about 6.5, 7 years apart, but I totally understand that sometimes you guys were like almost like two different planets where you guys could be together, you guys could be apart. It was kind of cool to see that dynamic in real time in this universe because I was also the athlete of the family and he was more the book guy. So it's kind of cool to see that as well. So yeah, I commend that. And hopefully people when check out the book, they can really apply it to their own families and situations and overcoming such situations. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
If someone's watching this interview right now, man, and they want to know more about you, more about how to pick up a copy of Forfeit, even your website, now's the time to promote how they can get in contact with you.
Hey, man, if you want to go ahead and purchase my book, Forfeit, it's available on Amazon, Google Books, Kindle Books, Spotify, Also, you could go check out my website. That's JerralU-Wynn.net. There you could, check out my upcoming projects. Check out my social medias. Swift the Gift. That's Swift DA, not THE. That's Swift the Gift spelled straight out. That's on Facebook, Instagram, and just check me out. I got something for you. I got something for you, man.
Yo, I could tell you there's so many people in my life. I mean, coming from BK, that may have been on the path that you were on, and they don't find a way to turn and pivot to do some good. So the fact you're here today, man, I mean, that's what's up. And hopefully we get more books coming from you down the line, man. I appreciate that.
Absolutely. Sure will. Surely will. Surely will.
All right, this has been Global Book Network. I'm Global Boys. Thank you so much for checking out this episode. Thank you for your time as well, man.
Hey, thank you, Flobo. You have a good one.
Yeah.